Everybody good here? Good. All righty, it's 5 p.m. I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. All right, we'll begin with a quick roll call. Mr. Barton?
Here.
Mr. Freshour? Dr. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Chapman?
Here.
Dr. Minnie?
Here.
All righty. We'll stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Dr. Minnie, I think we'll go ahead and do student recognitions, and I'll let you take off with that.
Okay. So, we have a plaque here from last year when we were in the drawing those all-state accolades. This has already been put up in the school. We're doing a plaque today for seventh chair clarinet as obtaining this for all-state band. This year she went back and she got first chair. Correct. Everybody, give her a all-state band. I believe the first ever in Gilmer County.
That's awesome.
I believe that would be fact, right? So we would like for her to come up, and she's going to display some of her talents. I'm going to hold this microphone right under the clarinet. No, I'm not. And we're going to listen to a few tunes that she picked out for us and get a picture with her so we can get this put in the newspaper. But we're very proud of Morelli's hard work. She's kind of been the leader of that band and encompassed the hard work and the work ethic that's growing our band. So we're very proud of her efforts. We're going to bring her right up and let her play her tunes, and we're going to give her this plaque.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, young lady.
That's the only one I
But thank you very much.
Thank you. Congratulations.
That was great.
April, you're going to have to build a trophy case there at the house for you and your daughter this year.
The right place.
And she played down at the Career Center and done the national anthem, and it was fantastic. So,
Great.
Pretty.
all right. So that'll take us out of student recognitions. We don't have any delegations, so that'll move us into reports. And we have the Calhoun Gilmer Career Center Administrative Council. Mr. Barton.
Well, unfortunately, I forgot part of my notes. I was in a hurry to get out of the house. But they have done part of their sophomore survey. And we have more, Gilmer County has more sophomores tentatively showing interest to go to the Career Center next year than we have had in a long, long time. She's had the 6th grade, the 8th grade, and the 10th grade down to tour and see what's going on. So hopefully our numbers will come up and our kids will make better use of the facility. And over Christmas break, 3 of the HVAC vac units are supposed to be installed, so that'll take care of part of the problems that they're having there. And we've talked before, there's about $2.4 million going to be used to renovate the kitchen lab for next year, and hopefully it'll take about a year to do that. So hopefully they'll get it done in short order. I hope there's a big enough penalty clause in it to make them get after it. Because otherwise, trying to have cooking class out on the grill or in the revamped wiener wagon is going to be a chore. That'll be something hard to do. But things are coming along. Like I said, and the big thing is to get our kids down there from our county and to look over what options they have. They are maxed out on the healthcare unit. I know there was 13 adults this summer that took their CNA pin and got jobs, and a lot of our students that were there last year that got the pins, they were employed at Minnie Hamilton and other places because a couple of them were in the ward. Where my mother's in the ward down there, they ended up taking care of her. So they've done quite a good job with the kids we have there.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Barton. We don't have anything else under reports, so that'll move us into the consent agenda, and we'll start with approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of November 17th, 2025.
Make a motion to approve the November 17th, 2025 regular meeting minutes as presented.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to accept the regular meeting minutes of November 17th, 2025 as presented. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right. That'll lead us to item number 2, bills for payment with request to pay subsequent bills through 1/2/2026. Ginger, you have the floor.
So we have our normal bills in front of you tonight. We also had a couple of things that I wanted to just draw your attention to. We did a separate batch for BSN. As you know, that's the company providing the weight room equipment. That project is not completed, but with the high dollar amount, we wanted to make sure we could pay them quickly as soon as it was, and of course the holiday approaching. So we have that in front of you asking for permission to pay, but that number is not final. That number will be a little bit less than that because there were some issues with a few of the items. So we're just asking your permission to go ahead and pay that as soon as it happens. And then Veritas, I wanted to let you know that is our final payment for the kitchen freezer project. There may be one more, I didn't look at the report name, one more architect payment. This is the last payment to Veritas. So we're winding that one down. There's also a payment in here to Lee Rigger for the next to the last payment, what I think will be for the storage building. So we're finishing up both of those and they're both looking really good. And that is all I had about the bills.
Make a motion to approve the bills for payment and subsequent bills through January 2nd, 2026.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the bills for payment and subsequent bills through January 2nd, 2026. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, on to number 3, permission to pay elementary basketball officials the week following each game FY26. Ginger?
Okay, so yes, I forgot to mention that we were asking you for the subsequent bills just because we have a few stragglers. And I appreciate that. So this is similar to how we came to the beginning of the year with Identigo. Like things that need to happen really quickly, it's really hard for us to write a check for because state law, demands that I put it in front of you before processing the check. So that's why I'm asking permission to set up a process because those game officials were really eating into the funds at the elementary school. So we are taking that on out of the levy, out of the elementary extracurricular part of the levy. And in order to make that happen, the schools can make a check happen like that. But the county office, I need your permission to be able to pay those weekly as presented. And it'll just depend on each week, there'll be different officials based on the assigner.
Make a motion to allow the payment of elementary basketball officials the week following each game.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to allow the payment of elementary basketball officials the week following each game. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? And that's a new process, isn't it,
And it's
Ginger?
a new process, yeah.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right. Number 4, cash reports. Ginger.
Yes, and one more thing about elementary basketball, that is a new process, but we will give you those bills, after every time at each next meeting. So you will see them, they'll just be subsequent. So I've given you 2 cash reports because apparently I was super behind in October, which of course is the first part of November. So I was more on my game in December, so that's why you have the October and the November cash reports in front of you.
Any questions for Ginger on cash reports? Okay, hearing none. We'll move on. We'll go into new business and start with approval of policy 4120.12, areas of critical need and shortage for substitute bus operators. Dr. Manning.
And we've got this policy 4120.12. It's been out on comment for 30 days. This is the one, we do both of these policies every year, keep them updated so we can get bus drivers and teachers and substitute teachers, both of these policies that are on our agenda tonight. This is one that's not new. We've done it every year for many years. And I don't believe we had a single comment on either policy. And I would recommend making a motion to approve policy 4120.12, areas of critical need and shortage for substitute bus drivers as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to accept the superintendent's recommendation to approve policy 4120.12, areas of critical need and shortage for substitute bus drivers as presented. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, on to number 2, approval of policy 3120.12, substitutes in areas of critical need and shortage. Dr. Manning.
This is same thing, a yearly policy. We do it every year, and it's been on comment for 30 days. And I recommend making a motion to approve policy 3120.12, substitutes in areas of critical need as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to accept the superintendent's recommendation to approve policy 3120.12, substitutes in areas of critical need as presented. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, number 3, approval and purchase of maintenance/mechanic vehicles. Dr. Manning.
So you got your documentation there in front of you. We put this out to bid kind of in a mass mailing. It has went out to almost everybody we could think of, even out of state. And we got our bids back. And really, our local Mid-State Chevrolet was the lowest bidder. And one of those vehicles is available right now, and we're hopeful that it's still available. And if it's not, then there'll be a waiting time of 8 to 12 weeks. But we think one of those vehicles are available right now, and we have been on this process for many months, and I think the board knows our need when it comes to maintenance vehicles. We have some high need when it comes to maintenance vehicle. One of our vehicles is from 1995, so it's really time to update. I don't know if there's any questions, but I do recommend making a motion to accept the recommendation of purchasing a new maintenance truck 1 from Mid-State Chevrolet in the amount of $57,549, and new maintenance truck 2 from Mid-State Chevrolet in the amount of $62,377, and new mechanic truck 2 from Mid-State Chevrolet in the amount of $58,799. And if there's any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
We want to get all three of them at the same time.
We think that we can afford all 3 of them. And we were very happy. The bids, we were having these conversations thinking 75, 80. We were thinking they were going to be higher than this. So that's a good thing. So
Make a motion to accept the recommendation.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to accept the superintendent's recommendation of purchasing new maintenance truck 1 from Mid-State Chevrolet in the amount of $57,549. New maintenance truck 2 from Mid-State Chevrolet in the amount of $62,377. And new mechanic truck 2 from Mid-State Chevrolet in the amount of $58,799. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, we'll move on to approval of pre-K makeup days. Dr. Manning.
So the required amount of days in pre-K are 128 with 2 built-in days kind of. We got down last year where we didn't have board meetings but needed to make up days. What we're asking to do is if the snow doesn't go away, could you give us permission to allow for us to start adding days on to the end of our pre-K calendar so we can make up the required amount of days? So I'm recommending making a motion to approve pre-K makeup days beginning as early as March if needed due to school cancellations.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to accept the superintendent's recommendation to approve pre-K makeup days beginning as early as March, if necessary, due to school cancellations. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, number 5, permission for the superintendent to travel out of state to attend the AASA National Conference on Education in 2026. Dr. Manning.
This is a conference that I go to every year. I try to go and take in both the speakers there are the best in the nation, and the vendor hall is where all the upcoming products for education are at. I will tell you this year my focus will be AI because that's what our state focuses on right now. AI is it is every training that we are going to. AI is making up the majority of the training. JT attended ASA in his principal cohort, and it's in all sectors. What we don't know doesn't exist is kind of unbelievable. So that's going to be my focus for this, is to understand the tools that would benefit our district to take workloads off people here. The conference is held in Nashville this year, and it is from February 12th to 14th. Ooh, that's Valentine's Day. Carrie won't like that one.
Where was it at again?
I just
Nashville.
realized that.
Nashville.
But anyways, the registration's $1,345 for the comprehensive registration, and that allows me to become a member of that national conference, and they send updates and things and provide professional development throughout the year as well. It's a really good conference, and I suspect this year that I will come back with some more knowledge about AI, how it can benefit students, how it can be integrated, policy making considerations. It's got a lot of the best vendors there too. So really appreciate you guys making a motion, giving me permission to attend the AASA National Conference on Education in Nashville, Tennessee.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Been properly moved and seconded to give Dr. Manny permission to attend the AASA National Conference on Education in Nashville, Tennessee. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that main motion?
I'd just like to say that maybe I'm old, but I've watched the AI movies and I know how this turns out. So maybe we need to do a reboot of, Terminator.
They did a kind of a Wordle where we all put in the word, and Terminator was like the biggest word. Like
yeah.
everybody is scared to death of it.
Maybe anybody below Gen X is clueless, but I have seen the movies.
We had an example where we redid this because this is all old and granny, and we took it to the program that we just learned in this last training, and in 5 seconds we had something that would have cost us thousands of dollars to have a company rebuild. We had it in 5 seconds. It's just the power of AI. We don't even know what it can do yet.
I know, because I watched the movies.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, we have approval of physical therapy services contract. Dr. Manny.
All right, Lincoln Care Associates will furnish services such as screenings, evaluation, therapy, placement meetings, annual, triannual reviews. That's IEP review meetings, consultative services to Gilmer County Schools at a rate of $42 per 30-minute session, including travel time in the 25-26 school year. There's a copy of the actual contract there with all the requirements of the contract. And I recommend making a motion to approve the physical therapy services contract with Lingacare Associates as presented.
Who are we currently using, or how do we currently do that?
So this is for a physical therapy contract. It's not occupational therapy. This would be for an individual student that needed physical therapy. So I'm not too for sure that we actually had the need for this before this.
Is this required by the state to have these services?
For the students that require physical therapy as a part of the IEP.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the superintendent's recommendation to approve physical therapy services contract with Lingacare Associates, Inc. as presented. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that made motion? Mr. Barton?
How many students do we have that are in need of this service?
I'd have to get back to you on that.
I mean,
It's not many, is it? No.
okay,
Do you know off the top of your head, Mr. Price?
I think it's one. But
Yeah, I think.
right.
Is there a membership, or is it just on a need basis?
No, this would be if we had to, say, for instance, provide 30 minutes or an hour of physical therapy services once a week, then that person would be paid for the hour drive, the hour there, the hour back, like 3 hours for how many ever weeks that we have that written in the IEP.
No problem. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, we don't have any old business, so that'll move us into personnel.
I move pursuant to 6-98-42 of the West Virginia Code, the board go into executive session to discuss personnel and personnel matters which, if discussed in public, might affect adversely the reputation of any person.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded to go to executive session to discuss personnel. Is there any further discussion or amendments? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. We rise from executive session. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, we are back to the personnel agenda, and we'll start with professional. And at this time, I'll hand the gavel over to Vice President Freshour, as I have a family relation in this section.
All right, Dr. Minnie, ready when you are?
Yeah. Recommendation for professional hire, Tamara Moore, virtual remote specialist, interventionist, GCHS.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Run fast, Cody.
That's all right.
Thanks, sir.
He's getting louder with that gavel. I need my earplugs.
How about this puny thing?
You know what? We can get AI. We just get an AI gavel. You push a button.
That's right. Push the button. All right.
You suckers can.
All right, and we'll move on to the service section. Dr. Manning.
Recommendations for hire, Jerry Edwards, substitute custodian, all locations, Abigail Shiflett, ECAT classroom transportation aide, pre-K, Gilmer County Elementary School.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the service portion of the personnel as presented. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that made motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. We'll move on to extracurricular. Dr. Manning, whenever you're ready.
You just go out that door, Brett. We'll let you back in.
All right, recommendation for hire, Emily Jadamski, auxiliary varsity girls basketball coach, GCHS, Kenneth Short, auxiliary elementary basketball coach, Gilmer County Elementary School, Ryan Chapman, auxiliary elementary basketball coach, 4th, 5th, Gilmer County Elementary School, Heather Jamison, auxiliary elementary basketball coach, 4th, 5th, Gilmer County Elementary School, Kristen Tuno, auxiliary elementary basketball coach, 4th, 5th, Gilmer County Elementary School, Michael Roberts, auxiliary elementary basketball coach, 4th, 5th, Gilmer County Elementary School, Oki Starzik, auxiliary varsity wrestling coach, Gilmer County High School.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the extracurricular portion of the service of the personnel agenda. Is there any further discussion or amendments to that made motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. All right, Brett, you can come on in. And then we have resignations for extracurricular next. Dr. Manning.
Extracurricular resignations, Danae Dobbins, assistant varsity volleyball coach, Gilmer County High School, effective 11/17/25. And Candace Knudsen, bus operator, Rosedale area, effective 1/2/26.
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded to accept the resignations extracurricular portion of the personnel agenda. Is there any further discussion or amendments against that main motion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Motion carries. And that will take us out of personnel. We will move on to continuous improvement, where we have discipline reports. And Mr. Fox or Mr. Price can fight over who goes first.
Well, he took it last time. This time, but I would be going first this time. So I won't argue with him. A deal's a deal.
I think we should make it like
Don't get into
gladiators.
him.
I probably owe him one,
No,
truth be told.
just give him a couple jalapenos. He'll be happy.
You guys will please just take one of those and pass that down. So I can minimize the confusion that I made last time. I'll just go one at a time with these and then send them back down. But what you have before you is a report, what is the change in student referrals by year? And so we can see some tally or some totals here of different behaviors that we're seeing at the school level. Level 2, disruptive, disrespectful conduct remains the highest. As a school, that's typical for a school to have that disruptive, defiant conduct. We also have about the same amount that we had last year as a level 3. So if you'll look, you'll actually see that disruptive, defiant conduct on there 3 different times as a level 1, a level 2, and a level 3. So that does continue to be a conversation that we have in our PBIS meetings and that we're having as staff, but that is the number one thing that we're seeing. The next thing that I want to give out to you here is the heat map, which I think provides a bit of context.
Yeah, I like that.
Year to year, I had some issues printing this, Mr. Martin, if you'll just turn that down.
Cheap.
Yeah, you really could use AI to make this sharper.
I could, and I apologize. I had issues printing this directly from a PDF, so I ended up doing a screenshot, and it just doesn't look clear. I feel like I'm missing my glasses, but I don't wear glasses.
I'm doing it.
Maybe I need those glasses.
It won't help.
If it does help you, the darker the color, the bigger the number. So that's the thing I like about the heat map. But of course, if you'll look there, we are in currently the 19th week of school with a snow day. There's nothing reported on that. But last week we had 5 discipline referrals. The week before that, 8. Week 16 would have been Thanksgiving, and so on and so forth. You can see there. At the end of that first 9-week period, when I reported on school discipline, we were on we had a darker path there. We were had a week with 20 discipline referrals, the following with 13, the following with 10. And we had, I thought, between, principal and Board of Education, some good conversation about that, and hoping that, with the majority of those incidents being first-time offenses for students, many of those were students that had never had a discipline referral. They had one, and they had it at that particular point in the year. So it did appear to be a lot. However, I think that is to be the case. When you see how things are trending right now towards the middle mark of the year, we're having far fewer discipline referrals than what we did at the beginning of the year. So I think that beginning of the year, starting consistent, starting, with those expectations in place, curbing some of those inappropriate behaviors have led us to this point where behaviors are not being reported because they aren't happening as much as what they were at the beginning of the school year. So I think that shows some positive trend data as far as behavior is concerned at the elementary school. Below that, you'll also see a separate report that I just put on this same page here, but it's offenses by building location. And you can see that the vast majority of those those offenses take place in the classroom still, with the playground being second in line there. I am happy to report that our bus incidents are happening fewer and farther between. We are having fewer issues with the bus. It seemed like we started out this year, had a decent little spike in bus behavior. But we've done some bus reteach with students, with bus drivers as well present in those situations. And that has been a very positive thing to do, to bring students onto the bus with the bus driver and the principal and say, hey, let's move these kids here. Here's our expectations. And let's enjoy ourselves on the bus, but be safe as well. So those kinds of things have helped keep those numbers down. If you guys don't have any questions on this report, I'll move on.
Good.
Martin, if you'll take this one, pass it down, please, sir. So when we talk, or when I mentioned there a minute ago, we have several students that only have 1 or 2 disciplinary offenses for the school year. We do have several students that have had repeat offenses, and so I wanted to communicate that with the board this evening. You all have seen this report as well. But the number of students and then the number of discipline referrals that they have. So you can see that we do have 1 student as a school that has 12 discipline referrals, 1 student that has 8, and then we're trending down in that direction. So 7 students have 3, 6 students have 3, 5 students have 1, 4 students have 4, and then we have several students that have 2 discipline referrals, and then Everything else, all other situations are one discipline referral. So if it's not on this, you can assume that it's one discipline referral. So these students that have multiple discipline referrals, when we sit down and we analyze this data, these students have IEPs where they have student assistance teams in place. They'll have behavior intervention plans in place. We're working with Ms. Friend, who's our expanded mental health provider that we have at the school, or the coordinator, I think is provider coordinator. I can't remember exactly what that position is called, but she comes in and helps us write behavior plans, works with teachers on implementing those behavior plans, collecting data, inputting that data into a system that we have as a school that allows us to kind of guide us in writing a behavior plan.
Are
And then-
any of these kids in the ALC?
In and out, if I can say that, as a placement. One thing that you'll see on a previous report was the location. You do have discipline referrals being reported
I
at
saw
the
that.
ALC, so it actually will include that. Yes.
So there's a new column.
Was there a behavioral management plan written after these numbers, prior to these numbers, or during these numbers? So I'm asking
I think the answer would be yes.
to all the above.
Well, just depending on the situation. Some students have come into the school year with a known behavior issue and a plan in place. And then some
I'm talking about
popped up on us.
these two down here with the 8 and 12
Yeah, the 8 and
particularly.
12. So we're talking IEP and behavior intervention plan, yes.
So I know that, but what I'm saying is, was the intervention plan in effect when they gathered these, or was it put in effect after they gathered these?
I want to answer that question and not identify anything
I'm
about a particular.
I'm not asking, yeah, I don't want to know about a particular,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just saying, make it simple. Is the plan put, that was in effect, is it working, or is it?
I mean, when we have 12 discipline referrals, I think it's fair to say, we're struggling with some behavior for a particular student. Sometimes we
Okay.
are having some student behaviors that are difficult to deal with.
I think at that age, some of it comes with maturity too.
But those plans, even though the plans are, those teams reconvene and constantly
Right, that's what, yeah,
try to fix that plan on an ongoing basis.
that's what I was kind of,
And with these, we're
Trying to
bringing in
get to.
people, so these don't sneak up on us. I mean, we know that we have issues. We're reconvening teams. We've got, further observations and things like that going on for those.
so you're modifying as need be.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to get to without,
Yeah. Adapt, improvise, and overcome.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're trying to do. And then if you'll take one of these and pass it down as well, please. So this is kind of a further breakdown of some of the data that we just passed out there a minute ago about location. I've used this report before, found it to be kind of helpful. But what we know that our classroom is the most reported behavior offense area within our school. And what does that look like? And disruptive, inappropriate conduct is our number one. It's a big umbrella, so there's a lot that fits under that offense. WEBIS can be a bit frustrating sometimes because that particular behavior that you see in a classroom that you know is inappropriate, you need to communicate it with the parent, you need to let a principal know, it needs to be documented because it obviously breaks that rule. How do we document that in WEBIS? Sometimes that code is not specific enough. So we put notes in those things to tell us the specific behavior, but we have to code it as something. That umbrella catches a lot of behavior because it's appropriate in that situation. But we have had some aggressive conduct, failure to obey rules and authority. On the playground, we deal with very similar types of behavior. If a teacher puts in a discipline referral and they do not designate a location, it goes into the unknown location category. That does happen on occasion, and we don't catch that in time. Cafeteria, you can see. Again, I'm happy to report that the bus incidents are down. Any questions about this data that I can answer for you?
suppose one thing good for you that you don't have to deal with at the high school is, God, you don't have to deal with tobacco or nicotine or any of that kind of good stuff. I didn't see any there.
Mr. Barton, I wish I could tell you that that was the case. But I've had a couple vapes.
Okay, I just didn't see any
Not,
that were coated like that.
I don't know if I haven't had one this year.
Any other questions for Mr. Price? Hearing none, thanks, sir.
Thank you,
Appreciate it,
sir.
guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mr. Fox, you're up.
I made eye contact with Tyson. He's like, he made pass.
The question was, did Mr. Price put him in collar this time?
He did put it in collar.
They were a little blurry though.
I liked it, even put two on one paper, saving paper, you know?
So the first one is, and Mr. Price, I believe, had the same one. And this was the week over week. Great comparison. Last time we presented, I believe, was around that week 6 to 9. We had those conversations. We had a lot of that dark blue. It's getting back to normal of what I think a normal day looks like. There's a lot of reasons for that. A lot of those are, we have a very productive leadership team, and sometimes those conversations are, hey, what can we do in the classroom for classroom management purposes? I have to step back and reflect and say, hey, what am I doing wrong? Some things like that. So I think there's a lot of things that we've put in place here and look back at, especially maybe it's walkthroughs a little bit more in certain areas, but I think right now there are some things that are happening right now that have really benefited us since about that week 6 to 9, because there was a lot of dark blue in that area. Next page is just that student referral by year, and that has that comparison. This was very similar, if not very, very close percentage wise. Disruptive, disrespectful conduct is our highest number of labeled referrals that go into the WEVIS system. Insubordination, that number was high last time. Now, we have discussed what does insubordination look like. That could look different ways sometimes if a student's struggling. So these are some of the conversations we're having during that leadership time through staff meetings that we're able to have now that we haven't been able to have in the past with these with our minutes throughout our day and having that. So we've had a lot of conversations on these. And then on that back page, it shows 397 total right now, which has slowed down drastically since about October. The next report is offenses by building location. Classroom is typically and traditionally the highest, and it's no different here. Is the 247. We have a lot of instances. Our next one is hallway breezeways, and it's the gymnasium. The gymnasium also is a classroom, so sometimes that's a little bit. And then it does have alternative school. It does document. I know Mr. Price mentioned that. It documents there of how many actually happen, and those are students who are actually at the ALC at that time. Going along with what Mr. Price said, we are having very, very few bus issues right now. So those things are going great on the school bus for us as well. We've only had 6 all year long, which is really good. Added a little bit to this one here. If you look at the note, the next one, offenses by grade. And that is just showing that 6th, 7th, 8th middle school side of things. And that was our highest last time. I put the little note on there. 65% of our referrals are coming from those 3 grades. Good news. I mentioned last time when we were here that we're building on our PBIS program. We are registered. We have a team of 4 who is going to a 2-day conference next semester for our PBIS, and it is going to be building that program, and it's going to benefit that 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And then the last thing here, on that back page, I did add a few things on there, and a lot of it's just about the repetitive and those repeat offenders.
there's not a report that we can pull on this, but this is something I've always done just in my past, and I think it's important to look at 6% of our students have received 4 or more referrals. That's 28 out of our 404 that were reported in October. Now that number obviously varies day to day, but I don't take, if we're at 397 right now, I don't take those out, because when I look at the 397 referrals we have right now, approximately so many could go to a student who has left and have gone homeschool, who are no longer at the school with some of those things. So I keep them in there. I don't take them out and leave those in there. So 6% of our students have received 4 or more referrals. Those aren't all habitual. Those could be a student who maybe sneaks out at the end of the day to their vehicle real quick, and then 2 weeks later, if they are habitual, those high volume, we are working on behavior plans. I know Mr. Price mentioned it. Ms. Friend is in and out, our behavior mental health coordinator there. She is in and out as of last week, working on and updating behavior plans as we speak. When we feel if they're not working, we're going back to the drawing board, and we do have to give them some time. But if we move forward and they're not working, we go back and revisit those. And then 6% of our Gilmer County high school students have made up 64% of our referrals. Now, some of those students have different have gone to the ALC placement. Some there have been expulsions and some things there that make up a lot of those numbers. But 6%, that's pretty good when you sit here and think. Now, I don't like the concept or the thought, not the concept, but the thought that 6%, we've got to work on that 6%, but we've got a lot of students doing a lot of great things. And then 22% of our students have received 1 referral or more. That's never going to go down. That's going to keep rising. That may be week 1 of school, they were tardy for class and said, hey, I thought we still had 5 minutes between classes. That referral is going to stay there. So that number, that number is never going to drop lower than that 22%. But I think that does show that we have a lot of students doing a lot of great things, and our staff is really working at that as well.
Thank you, Mr. Fox.
Any questions,
Thank you.
Mr. Fox? Good.
Yeah,
Thanks, sir.
78% of your kids have never gotten zapped one time. That's good.
Thank you for your packet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing like getting hammered under the bus twice.
All right. All righty, we'll move on down the agenda and go to superintendent's information.
Can I just follow up with
Yeah.
one? So when I looked at the district data, it looked around about 500 total referrals, 520, something like that. We ended the year last year with just under 1,000. So I think what we've done after we had our first meeting with the principals and started in on the process, some things have happened. Some people we've had a few expulsions. We've had a few ALC placement, things like that. We're back being close to being on track to where we were last year. Our discipline numbers last year were excellent. Actually, we've been in the green on discipline every year that I've been here. I mean, even when we had 2,000 referrals. So we are good with where we at. Do we need to work on that 6%? Do we need to? Absolutely. We need to fix those types of issues. But like Mr. Barton said, when you're getting 78% of your population with 0 discipline referrals, that's pretty good. So I just wanted to highlight, we're basically back on track to where we were last year. And hopefully that trend continues throughout the spring.
And there's 37 of those marks on there you wouldn't have had last year. That was cell phones, if I read that real right.
Yeah, that's another thing. Cell phones have added a little bit different dynamic. Not only 37 more, but let's be honest, cell phones are pacifiers during downtime.
I will say something about that. Last year when I would go up there in the mornings, it was quiet. You could hear a church mouse squeak.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the case now, which for me is a good thing because the kids are sitting there talking to one another.
How is it currently going from the beginning of the year and bringing in the policy? And
There's always one that sneaks in here and there. You know, we get that story about, oh, I forgot it was there. But a lot of ours have been, you know, and I just be very upfront, and this is hats off to the students. When we've had an issue with it, it's been because a student pulls out their pocket and is moving it to, you know, things where it's not, we're not having the issue of our students pulling it out in the middle of the class and sitting here messing with it and doing those things. It's been quiet. The students are, you know, doing what we're asking them to do.
No rebellion.
It has not been. It has been really good.
But when you were sitting at lunch and everybody was sitting there looking at their phone like this, now they have to interact, which
Yes.
might lead to things
Leads
more like
more.
horseplay and,
Yeah.
you know, it leads to other things.
Well, when we were up there for the gate, there was one kid in there I noticed and he was an introvert, for a better term. He was with the phone, he was back in the corner and he didn't do anything. The day we were up there, he was yakking. He
Yeah.
was talking to somebody, which, you know, I think it's worked out well, but like I said, that's just 37 marks you wouldn't have had.
Right.
Which we're taking your numbers down.
Any other questions, concerns, comments for discipline? Okay, Dr. Manning, your superintendent's report.
Okay, so we're really focused on the levy. We should have a levy in January to put before you guys to have you all vote on and approve a levy order with a sample ballot that will then go to the county clerk, and we'll start the process of all the election process when it comes to running a levy. We're very close getting that complete. We met again today. We've met 3 times so far with the committee, and we're very close to getting that. One thing that I want to make sure is I want to have that to the state auditor's office and them give the blessing before I give it to you guys. Because I want them to say, okay, this is legitimate. The levy has everything in it you need. There's nothing in there that's controversial, and get it back to you guys with that kind of blessing from the state auditor's office so we know we're running a completely legal levy. Another quick update, I plan to do an early release on December 19th, and that would be a 3-hour early out, just to let the students start their break 3 hours early and prepare for Christmas break. Quick update on the weight equipment. We do have all the right equipment in. We should be receiving the final invoice minus a piece of broken equipment that was freighted from China that showed up broken. I think that piece of equipment cost $5,000. So the final invoice is going to be minus a couple pieces of broken equipment. We have about a couple more orders to obtain the little stuff that we needed to finish the project that I will be submitting this week and trying to get BSN to get that equipment here. But right now, the majority of the weight equipment itself, the weights and all of the machinery in the weight room is here. So that's a positive thing. I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Have a safe and productive holiday, be with family, and so on and so forth. We have grades due when we get back, I think on the 6th. Report cards go out on the 8th. So unless we get some major weather between now and then, we should be good to go to have finals. And I'm going to really try to have school tomorrow because we have a lot of performances and things like that the students have prepared for. So that's my update.
Okay. That'll move us into board member comments. We'll start with Mr. Chapp.
I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and thank Mr. Price and Mr. Fox for the data that they gave here today. And I would like to comment about Dr. Minnie's future conference that you're going to go to. With AI, I mean, I personally use it a lot with a lot of legal documents and stuff, and maybe see if anybody is doing that to maybe save some lawyer bills to write certain letters or to do certain work that we might be able to avoid a lawyer bill from time to time. Just something for you to think about. Because like I say, I use it a lot and work for that in that capacity. That's all I got.
All right, I want to again thank Mr. Price and Mr. Fox for coming to present. Those updates are always appreciative and good for us to hear. And then I'd like to thank Morelli for coming and again, congratulate her on her success with the band. And it's always good to see that program gain more students and be very, well received. So Dr. Miller, that's all I have.
Christmas is the most wonderful time of the year. It's my favorite time of the year, mostly because I get to spend time with my family, away from the craziness for a while. I hope that everybody gets to do that as well, spend time with their families and enjoy the reason that we're all out here hustling every day, and that's because of our families. I want to thank that everybody that's worked really hard. I've seen tremendous improvement over the last few years in the school system, and we're finally, we've approached the goals that we've been looking towards for a long time, and I think we're going to blow them out of the water next year. So I can't wait to see that. So everybody have a Merry Christmas.
Mr. Freshour.
Ditto.
I was gonna say bah humbuggers. Merry Christmas. Enjoy the break. Thanks, everyone. What else? is there to say?
Hallelujah.
I watched that
Tyler
movie
off.
last night.
Scrooge.
All right, Mr. Bart.
Merry Christmas to all, and I appreciate all the hard work that all the staff members have put in. Like Dr. Miller said, we had good results last year. I think they'll be better this year. And to our young lady that played, she's terrific. She played the national anthem at the Career Center. Mr. Fox, if I were you, I'd be asking her to play at the home ball games. She put goose pimples on my back, and that don't happen very often.
Ooh, a little national anthem at the ball game. That'd be nice.
She is something else. And when the instrument she played down there, it was not easy to play that tune on, and she was letter perfect. But thanks, everybody. Everybody have a Merry Christmas, and God bless.
We have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and second. We adjourn the meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstention? Meeting adjourned.